tweet has been tweeted. The stream has been started. The tweet has been tweeted.
Is it a sweet tweet?
Some would say yes. Oh, look at those bits. Some say that we have the best bits, Lewis, and they're just streaming in.
Still waiting to see that amazing tweet.
The tweet has been tweeted.
Yeah, well, oh God, I hit refresh.
Uh-oh. Well.
Another 20 seconds of my life wasted.
Go get a macchiato from the Starbucks down the street. Extra foam. By the time you come back, it might be ready to go.
God.
Alrighty.
I should have bought one of the dang Mac Mini, or not Mac Mini, one of the M1s as soon as they came out, because after you wait like 3 months, right? You're like,
Yeah.
oh well,
Now
I
it's
gotta
too
wait
late.
for the next one.
Yeah.
And is there a name for that? It ought to be called like
It's FOMO.
If there
It's
isn't
FOMO.
one,
It's FOMO, man. That's what it
is
is.
it just straight up
Yeah.
FOMO?
It's just
I feel
pure
like it's
FOMO.
specifically Apple related, tardy FOMO.
So it's FAMO. Wait, no, it's FAMO. Fear of Fear of missing Apple products. It's fear of missing. It's FOMP. Fear of missing. It's FOMAP. Fear of missing Apple products. FOMAP.
That doesn't really get across the whole thing of like, oh, I screwed up and didn't jump immediately, so now I've got the long, time of not having the new product. There's just that certain tipping point, right, where it's like, it's just too late to buy a new one now.
But see, now is the best time to buy a Mac Mini because they are constantly putting them on sale, and you can get. In fact, Zach Hicks, he's in the chat. He keeps posting them in the Cult Club. They keep going on sale for $530. I think for the refurbs, $530 for a Mac Mini. That is probably one of the most powerful Macs that you can buy. Let us know, Zach. Keep me honest here. Did I get that right? He's always posting about that. All right, let's have some silence. I'm listening to Lewis type and search for a new Mac. Leander Caney is not going to be with us, most likely for the rest of his life.
Jeez.
Leander got the shot, and he's not feeling too well, which I hear is pretty common by shot too. I've known quite a few people that have gotten it, and not everyone has any kind of effects that happen. But I'm trying to speak as delicately as I can. But some people do get sick, and LK is sick. Now, I question whether it's because of the shot or if he just partook of way too many celebratory body-altering chemicals as a result of that shot. I have a feeling it might be more of that. Oh, is it? It is $580 or so, and then you get an extra. Oh wait, is that like? Oh well, I think that maybe Zach's getting a military discount. Oh yeah, he has a military discount, but you can get it for $580, which is.
I could join the military.
Or you can join the military. What would your position be?
I don't know if they would take me at this point.
Sure they would.
I think I might
Look at
be
you.
a little past the prime.
No, dude, you are the perfect specimen of latter stage fitness. I think you'd make a great drill sergeant. All you got to do is go in there and do what you do with the Cult of Mac writers. Spit in their face when you're shouting, degrade them, humiliate them, tweak their nipples with electrodes when they don't do what you want them to do.
Do they still allow the vein popping screaming in the military though?
Oh,
I mean,
they
I've
demand
heard
it.
that it's all like new and groovy now, and like we'd really like it if you'd march a little faster.
Would you mind marching
if
faster?
you wouldn't mind.
You could go in there old school style and just whip those cadets into shape, Lewis. Just scream in their face. You'd be the perfect drill sergeant too, because I feel like you need to be really intimidating. You need to be medium sized like you are. Like I feel like 5'4" is the perfect height for a drill sergeant because they don't see you coming, and then you get right up in their face and you look straight up at them, right? And then you just absolutely shout right into their chins.
Spittle all over their belly button area, from.
You're like a little chihuahua.
So short and so angry.
He's so pissed. And they don't want to look down at you because they feel like that's disrespectful.
But I don't think they're allowed to, right? You got to stand like this.
Yeah, that's right. They have to look up too, and they're just getting the heat from below, just getting shouted at right up into their faces. All right, guys. Well, we got a ton of stuff to talk about. I'm not going to go into it now because we're about to start the show officially, and I will do a recap. Well, can I do a recap before we actually?
It's like a precap.
It's a precap, a precapulation of all the stuff that we're going to talk about. And I'll just tell you right now. Have you ever seen A Beautiful Mind, Lewis, where the guy has like the equations and stuff flying through the air? That was me this morning. I have got this entire event completely mapped out. I know exactly what's going to happen. And I'm going to tell you about something that no one else is talking about that I have some evidence for. I'm going to show you some evidence of proof of why I think we're going to get new Macs at this event. And I think it's conclusive.
That's a pretty bold prediction.
Well, I'm a bold man with bold predictions. You all know that. So shout out to Zach Hicks. Shout out to Ulysses. God, that's a great name. Shout out to Level Remix. Corey Blosters here. We got Brendan Brad, the man with 2 first names. And, good, Xavier Campon is here. I'm a little sad that Chase McLean isn't here, but he'll probably show up eventually. Now, remember, Zach? Look, you have the power to kick out anyone you want. And I expect you to use that power liberally. In fact, by the end of the show, I want it to be just you and maybe 2 or 3 other people here. So if anyone gets lippy, you just smack them around. You're the drill sergeant in this chat. You just kick them right out of here. Turn them around, undies, yank them up, and then military boot right into the buttocks. Kick them on out of here. Send them out of the front door, and then slam it. Don't let them back in. Okay. Here we go. Let me see. Before we can start, we need a very special guest. And I'm proud to say that she's a close personal friend. She only comes on our show. No one else has this caliber of
the chicken
introducer. The chickens are right out there. And I would go get one, but I heard one going, rah, 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 which means that an egg is actively coming out of its hind end. One of them really gobbles a lot when the egg's coming out. It gets real feisty. And I was telling my wife, I was like, I wonder if pushing an egg out of your bum hurts, or if it just is like nothing.
Might have a sore cloaca.
What? I don't know about that. I don't know what that is or what you just said, but I kind of feel for him in a way. But I'm telling you that one chicken really likes me, and it just follows me around the yard. And all the other chickens will run, but like she'll stop, and then she'll look at me like this. She'll like wait for me to come pick her up. Man, she loves it. I just carry her around like a football.
It doesn't want to be first on the day.
I did threaten them when they first all arrived. I said, look, ladies, I'm either eating your eggs or I'm eating you. So you just keep that in mind. And I don't want to have any unproductive days.
This is a brown-nosing chicken that's feared for its life.
Well, it actually works because now I feel like we're friends. And so she will be the last one to be eaten if we have to eat one of them. All right, guys, let me queue up Mrs. D. Let's see here. Mrs. D. Mrs. D, you are looking lovely. Oh, thank you. What is that on your face? Oh, it's just a wrinkle cream homemade, Is that the secret to your luscious, youthful skin? Oh, stop. Well, Mrs. D, we're ready to start the show. And we wouldn't think about doing it without you. We need you. You're the key to our success. Oh, sweet talker. A sweet talk you. Oh my. Okay, well, if you're ready to begin, we're losing listeners here as we carry this bit on too long. So I think we should
believe it.
Go ahead and start. Even though I'm doing this Hollywood caliber bit,
yeah,
I think we should go.
Chicken talk too. I mean,
we should go ahead and start. All right, here we go. Hello and welcome to CultCast, the best 30+ minute app conversation you're gonna hear all week long. I'm your host, Airfan Elijah. Join me today. Oh well, he's not here. Never mind. This ruined my whole bit. I'm gonna do it anyway. When Apple announces a new keynote, he brings his pillow and blankie to the couch because when his wife finds out how much he spent on new hardware, he knows That's where he'll be sleeping for at least the next week. He's the founder of Imac. Leander Caney is not here.
Another one bites dust.
All right,
Didn't work
Leander.
out.
Also with us, speaking of couches, now you see why I had to do that. Speaking of couches, he just added one to the Mac writing room, where, perched from his new vantage point, he can ensure the writers keep typing and aren't tempted to pick their leg locks and get away. He's the fair but strict managing editor of Mac, Lewis Wallace.
Yeah, I am apparently responding better to the COVID vaccine than our fearless founder.
Yeah.
Leander's feeling a little under the weather today.
Yeah, and soon he'll be under the ground.
Oh,
Nice
jeez.
nice run.
Soon he'll be 100% fully vaccinated.
Well, you guys both got, was it shot 2?
Yeah.
Okay, and you're feeling all right now? Because you said you were feeling a little crummy as well.
Felt a little dodgy yesterday.
Yeah, okay.
Went to sleep for 12 hours, woke up feeling fantastic.
Did you actually sleep for 12 hours?
I didn't sleep for 12 hours, but
You're
I
just in
did
bed.
lie in bed for 12 hours.
Oh, this is what you can do when you don't have kids. I envy you. I had at
I've even
least
been
3 kids get up
14.
last night while I was trying to sleep. One after another. One gets up. Then you put that one back to bed. Then the other one gets up. Oh, and then the other one gets up. Ah!
Wow.
Or my daughter, who just comes in quietly. It's like when you have kids, you develop this extra sense that your kid is there. She won't even say anything very loudly. And I'll just kind of wake up and there's like this figure standing in the doorway with the light coming in behind her, right? And I can't tell who it is. It's like The Ring. It's like the
Did she have the long hair like that?
yeah, her hair is long too. So it's like the cover image for The Ring, that movie The Ring.
Did
And
she
she goes,
walk upside down with her joints at all the wrong angles and stuff?
I haven't seen her do that yet, but I wouldn't be surprised. And then she goes, I had a bad dream. And I'm like, huh? And then she goes, and she whips away and goes back to her room. She doesn't want to come in or anything. She just wants us to know. And then she scurries back to her room. And I'm like, sometimes I'm not even sure if it actually happened because I'm not totally awake when she does it, you know?
Wow.
But anyway, so Leander's not here because he's not feeling well. So he is, speaking of his couch, that's probably where he is. He's probably on his couch with his blankie, sucking on his, what?
It's a good place to write it out.
Yeah, so hopefully he'll be back up and running. But I hear like day 1, day 2 after shot 2 is usually when the stuff kicks in, you know. And it's like that's when you start feeling a little crummy. So, all right, well the show must go on. We got a lot of stuff to talk about this week. Let me see here. Let me just bring this up. Oh yeah, here we go. We got to talk about Apple's spring-loaded event happening April 20th. Is that next Tuesday? I want to say, Lewis. I believe that it is.
Yes, sir.
Yes, so next Tuesday, it's coming up, and we'll tell you about our hardware expectations. Now, we're going to talk about iPads, of course, which you've probably heard about, but I'm going to make a case for why we are almost certainly going to see new iMacs next week, maybe even more. We might see a new Mac Pro. We might see MacBook Pros. It's all possible, and I'll give you my reasoning for this, and I'll show you some I consider to be conclusive evidence of why we're going to see this. Now, some would say, oh, you can't really extrapolate what we're going to see from the actual invitation. That's nonsense. I think TC, we know that he likes playing games, and I think he made it all too clear. The riddle is there if you're willing to see it, and I'll walk you through it step by step and tell you. We'll talk about what we expect for next week's event. We'll also talk about a new HomePod speaker that Apple hopefully is working on. Because y'all know that we were all very sad about the demise of the full-size HomePod. And there's some Apple TV news that I thought we could talk about, including, I thought since this kind of worked into this story, a new Matrix movie. A new Matrix movie, one of Lewis's favorite franchises, The Matrix. You're a huge Keanu Reeves fan, aren't you?
He's fine. I've got no quibbles with Keanu.
I think he's more than fine. I think he is one of the best actors of our time. No? You're more of a Patrick Swayze guy.
Where do you stand on Nicolas Cage?
Oh, well, Nicolas Cage is an American treasure. That's why they put him in National Treasure, because not only is he a good actor, but he is a national treasure. So that movie actually had dual meanings there. And you know who thinks that Nick Cage is one of America's best actors?
Nick Cage?
Yeah. James Lipton.
Oh,
that real weird guy inside the actor studio host. He thinks that Nick Cage is one of America's finest actors, and I think I might agree.
he is memorable.
He's definitely memorable. And
The
he
bees.
what was that from?
Wicker Man.
I have never heard of that movie.
What?
Yeah, sorry about
Well,
that.
there was the original.
Yeah.
Was great,
Okay.
and then there was the Nicolas Cage remake.
Oh, which was even
definitely watch.
Which was even better, right? All right. Do I have browser mode set up here? Yeah, fantastic. Okay, let's see here. Oh yeah, look at that browser mode. Okay, before we dive into all the fun, let me give a very hearty thank you to Squarespace for supporting this idea. Now you can churn your ideas into a reality. And isn't it time? Isn't it time to take those ideas that you have and churn them into reality? It's so easy with Squarespace. You just choose the website template that you like, and you can select from all these beautiful templates that they have. And if you want, you can just, boom, launch your website right away. Your website's going to look great on any device that visits. Or you can go in, you could change the templates with beautiful fonts, color palettes, make the website look uniquely yours. They have a ton of tools that are built into the website. If you want, you can build an online store, booking services, or add your favorite third-party extensions, which are incredibly powerful. I actually use several of the third-party extensions with my website, cultcloth.co, which make running the Cult Cloth website, well, I mean, it makes it possible. Some of the extensions you need to have to run and actually ship things and get things into your accounting systems and stuff. So it's a really powerful website with a ton of different kinds of websites built in. You can build literally any kind of website that you can think of. The SEO is all built in, so you don't have to worry about any of that stuff. You can integrate email campaigns. You can just build a simple personal website to highlight your resume or your skill set. You can promote your event or wedding or your small business. And of course, if you have a small business, you have to have a website up that you can maintain yourself. And with a Squarespace site that you can actually do that. You won't have to hire anyone to help you, which is one of the things I love about Squarespace, because otherwise it's going to cost you a ton of money to keep your website up to date. You can also bring in contributors if you want to do that too. Head on over to squarespace.com/cultcast, squarespace.com/cultcast to get started. And if you like what you have after your free trial, use code CultCast at checkout. You'll save 10% off your first purchase. And if you order a year of service like I do at a time, you get an additional discount and a free domain name at squarespace.com/cultcast. Okay. Boom. Here we go. Lewis, very exciting. See, if you say that there's going to be an Apple event and you just say there's going to be one next month, eventually you're going to get it right. And here we got one.
I just keep saying it.
I feel like for months now we've been hearing like Apple event coming next month, Apple event coming next month. And lo and behold, here it is. We got an Apple event. It's official. Apple's spring-loaded event is happening April 20th, and we're here to tell you what to expect. And then I'm going to show you a little invitation magic. And it's something that you can't unsee. Once you see it, it is so obviously there. It is so obviously there. You will not deny that the new iMacs that we know Apple is developing, they're coming next week, I think. All right, Lewis, take it away.
Yeah, so the next Apple product release happens next week, 4/20. Invites went out Tuesday.
Oh, wait. It's happening 4/20. Oh, Tim.
4/20.
TC. You dog. He's going to be real squinty on that stage. Yeah, go ahead.
This Tuesday, just hours after Siri leaked the date. Siri.
Sounds like Siri was having a little early 4/20.
Oh my God. Can you imagine? I mean, how does that okay, I don't want to get derailed immediately. But anyway, naturally, although Apple did leak the date through Siri, Apple didn't announce what's on the agenda. Rumors point, however, to multiple new iPads, as well as possibility of next-gen AirPods, maybe faster Apple TV, which you've been hearing about forever, and the long-awaited debut of AirTag's item trackers. Let's see. Good old Mark Gurman predicts that Apple will be launching the iPads next week, an 11-inch and a 12-inch iPad Pro, with the higher-end model featuring the new mini LED display we've been hearing about for months. And the good thing about months is that it might be months before you actually get your hands on one.
I don't know if that's a good thing about months, though. That might actually be a bad thing about months.
It's just like a little, dipsy-do kind of a segue, semi. But anyway, new iPad Pro likely be one of the first hardware releases. Probably get it next week. It's supposed to be the first one to boast a mini LED display, which offers, better screen than current LCDs. However, it's supposedly only going to be available in the 12.9-inch iPad Pro, not the 11-inch model. And Apple continues to run into production challenges with these micro LED screens. Bloomberg writes that the firm's overseas suppliers are dealing with poor manufacturing yields. Oh, poor manufacturing yields. The people who asked not to be named discussing sensitive matters said at least one of the many LED makers has had to recently pause production as a result. So that's, I guess, the takeaway from that is if they actually announce these things next Tuesday, you better have your finger on the buy button.
Yeah, you actually better get up early and order it when it comes out if you want to have a hope or a chance of getting the 12.9-inch. I guess the question is what are they going to do with the smaller one? We've heard virtually nothing, and Bloomberg has said that there are probably not going to be any significant changes. So I'm guessing peach, sharp green,
going for the colors, huh?
Cloud blue. Yeah.
I bet they keep the colors for the non-pro.
Yeah, you might be right. They'll probably just
faster processor.
Yeah, exactly. But the 12.9-inch, I'm really looking forward to seeing what the Apple or what the micro LED display looks like, and if it's actually noticeably better, or if it looks pretty similar to what we currently have. I'm kind of guessing that in most scenarios, it's going to look pretty similar to what we already have, although the contrast ratio should probably be much improved, and they'll improve it in a lot of iterative ways, but I don't expect it to be revolutionary, and that's kind of echoed by Mark Gurman. So there's the iPads, okay? Now, no one's talking about Macs.
Yeah.
But where do I start here? I think that we're going to see Macs next week. And before I show you the evidence of why I believe that, which is going to blow your mind. You know that meme where that guy goes, boo? That is what is going to happen to you in mere moments here, okay? So let me pull up this story from Bloomberg real fast, because this is an important part of the story. And let me pull up my notes here so I can go through this with you guys and walk you through this. Okay, Apple Inc. This is from the Bloomberg story. I believe this is the Germinator. Yes, it is. Apple Inc. is planning the first redesign of its iMac all-in-one desktop computer since 2012, part of a shift away from Intel. Yes, we know that. The new models will slim down the thick black borders around the screen and do away with the sizable metal chin area, aka the Jay Leno, in favor of a design similar to Apple's Pro Display XDR. These iMacs will have a flat back, moving away from the curved rear of the current iMac. Okay, so we all know this, right? They're going to get rid of the iMac design, the current iMac design, and make it look like a Pro XDR display with a computer built in, which makes a lot of sense, okay? Let's move on. Apple is launching, this is still from the Bloomberg story, Apple is planning to launch two versions, codenamed J456 and J457, to replace the existing 21.5 and 27-inch models later this year. Now, this story that I'm reading to you came out in January. And one of the things I want to add that's not in the story is our favorite Twitter leaker, Love to Dream, the poet and the Twitter leaker. He says that the new iMacs, and if you think about this, makes a lot of sense. They're going to get rid of the bezels and make the screen larger. So the new iMacs that are coming out are going to be probably insanely powerful because they'll have the power variant of the M1 chip, plus they're going to have much larger screens, okay? Back to the story. Let's see here. Where were we? Okay. The iMac redesign will be one of the biggest visual updates to any Apple product this year, according to people familiar with the company's roadmap. Apple is also working on a pair of Mac Pro desktop computers. One version is a direct update to the current Mac Pro, and will continue to use the same version, and will continue to use the same design, as the version launched in 2019. Apple has discussed continuing to use Intel processors for that model, rather than moving to its own chips. The second version, however, will use Apple's own processor, but be less than half the size of the current Mac Pro. The design will feature a mostly aluminum body, exterior, and could invoke nostalgia for the Power Mac G4 Cube, a short-lived, smaller version of the Power Mac that I thought was extraordinarily beautiful, but did not sell well at all. And let's see here. As part of the revived Mac desktop efforts, Apple has started early development of a lower-priced external monitor to sell alongside the Pro XDR display. Apple's current monitor debuted in 2019, cost $5,000, and let's not forget about the $1,000 stand. Let's see. The cheaper monitor would feature a screen geared more for consumer than professional use and wouldn't have the brightness and contrast ratio of the XDR display. Apple last launched a consumer-grade monitor called the Thunderbolt Display in 2011 for $999, but continued it in 2016. Okay, so we know that Apple is working on new Macs. We know that new iMacs are going to be released sometime this year. And if you look at the time we have between now and September, or I guess back to school, right? We only have a few months. And I'm going to guess that Apple's going to want to get out as many computers as they can for back to school, which they start their back to school promotion in June. So it seems like a good time to release new Macs. Okay. Now, preamble over. Let me show you something. So someone reached out to me on Signal. Now, my Signal is on my Twitter. If you want to send me a message, you can. If you want to send me a tip, I would love that very much. Help me scoop Gurman. That would make my life so much better. Wouldn't you just love hearing a scoop from me and Gurman has to cover it? Wouldn't that just be so tasty? For once. Excuse me. Okay, so someone reached out to me and was showing me something from the invitation that once I saw, I was like, dude, this is very interesting. Okay, are you ready, Lewis? I'm going to share my screen with you, Lewis, so that you can see in real time what I'm showing to the people here.
Okay.
Okay, let me pull up my browser, and there we go, right there. Sharing. Can you see it, Lewis? I know that you can.
I can.
Okay. Here is, am I in browser mode? No, I'm not. Let me go to browser mode. Here are two Macs from Apple's past. We have, oh, it did?
For me, it did.
Oh, I can't show it to you and show it to them at the same time. Well,
tough show them.
You saw it. So here is an iMac, and here is a Mac. And notice the hello written on the screens, right? Okay? The hello written on the screens. Just notice the way the hello looks, okay? Now, let's go and show you the invitation. Check out that. The E and the L. And it looks like it whips into part of the O with the little extension coming off the O right there. You see that E and that L right there? It's the same as the E and the L as the hello that's written on the screens of the Mac. It's right. Now, I should mention, you only see this if you take what is on the invitation and you flip it 180 degrees. So you mirror it. Then it matches up almost perfectly to the last half of the H, the E, the L, and then part of the O. I think this is a clear cut scenario where they're hiding what is going to happen in plain sight. Do you want to see this? Yeah, go ahead, Lewis.
It also kind of looks like the Wrangler jeans logo. So maybe they're doing jeans.
Or maybe Tim Cook's going to come out in Wranglers and just announce the iPad and have that be the end of it. Now, can you see the picture that I'm showing to everyone, Lewis?
Yeah.
Okay, you can. So, chat, let us know. Did I just unravel the entire event for you? I know I basically just spoiled it from everyone. But this invitation, if you look at the E and you look at the L and you look at the end of the invitation, it looks exactly like the hello text written on the new Macs, which is the iconic hello world, that they put on all new Macs. So I think we're getting new Macs next week.
Man,
Lewis.
If that's right, I'll shave off my eyebrows. No, just kidding.
Maybe just do one, if I'm right. Maybe do half of each one, so it's still symmetrical.
Maybe I should present to you a story we ran on Cult Mac this week called "Why Trying to Decipher Apple's April Event Invite is a Waste of Time."
You know what? I saw that story, and I didn't bother to include it because I think that this is conclusive evidence. This is let me bring this up again. Look at the E and the L and look at the Apple invitation. This is indisputable evidence that we are going to get an iMac next week. I think it's conclusive, man. I don't think there's any way you can argue it. And let's see here. Andy Massey in the chat, he's saying Da Vinci Code. I think that's fair and accurate. And let's see here. I think you blew all our minds, says Ulysses Martinez. Well, they're impressed, Lewis. And they, unlike you, are able to see what I've just sewn together here. So I think we're going to see new Macs next week. The question is, which Macs? So new iMacs, I think, is probably the most likely. Think back to school. I think maybe the MacBook Pro is a possibility because they're going to want to get these computers out before the back to school promotion. Now, look, I'm just hypothesizing here. I've presented my case. This could end up happening or not. I don't have sources telling me this. I'm just using the power of my analytical mind to present to you the evidence, and you do with it what you will. But I think it's pretty ironclad here that we're gonna do this, and I'm really excited. If we get new iMacs, Lewis, I think I'm going with a new iMac.
Yeah,
and I might sell the old MacBook Pro and just use an iMac going forward because it's gonna be an absolute monster with the M1X unsheathed, unleashed, and no cooling, no battery requirements, energy efficiency requirements, and they'll probably have some great new cooling mechanism built in since it's a all new body. They'll have worked out those problems finally. I think it's going to be an absolutely incredible machine, and you don't have to pay for the premium of having the MacBook Pro, which is they're more expensive because they're portable, and you're also going to have a larger screen. I'm going to guess like 30 inches, maybe 32 inches.
What? Okay.
So there you go.
We'll see. We'll have something to talk about next week.
Oh, man. It's going to be exciting. And, when they announced the iMacs and everyone's like, Big Earth got it right. Big Earth unraveled it. Unraveled it live on the CultCast. I'll finally get the bona fides that I have been seeking, and I'll be redeemed, Lewis.
We'll see.
All right. We'll see. Do you want to put some money on it? Make a little wager?
I think it's a little more likely we'll see AirTags, and I think there's probably going to be a 1-hour event, and I don't know how much stuff they can cram into a 1-hour bag.
Well, I don't even know if the AirTags exist at this point. I think they were just something that were concocted by John Prosser to keep us all.
You don't think that's happening?
No, I'm just joking. I would love to see the AirTags, but we just keep getting teased with the AirTags. It's been going on for 2 years now, and I'm starting to lose hope that we're actually going to see the AirTags. So, in any case, I think we're definitely getting new iPads and new iMacs next week, but we will wait and see what actually happens. Did you want to mention real quick the Cultimac giveaway, Lewis, before we move on? Because I know you were pretty excited about that, and it's a pretty nice thing that we're giving away. So I think now would be a good time to actually bring it up.
Okay, yeah, we're running giveaways on Cultimac now as often as we can. This week we're giving away 4, not 1 or 2 or 3, but 4 beautiful protective MacBook Folios from our friends at Walnut. Are you familiar with Walnut?
Oh man, yeah, they make some of the best leather iPhone cases that I have ever held.
They are quite nice.
They are very high quality.
These MacBook Folios go for $196. So this isn't like some little silicone Apple Watch
piece
band
of garbage.
These are excellent products, and they're made of high quality Scandinavian leather with German natural wool felt on the inside. They fit your MacBook like a glove. They're awesome. Now the one thing I don't have is a really simple giveaway URL for people. But if you go to the Cultimac website, we do have you can see it. It's on the homepage right now. So, and we're going to be leaving it there.
Tell you what, I'll put it in the chat right now too.
The end of the week runs to the end of the week, and get your name in the hat. You can sign up for our newsletters. Sign up to visit the. It's a typical thing. You have to do really low bar things to get your entries. But get your hat in the ring. Get your chance at winning one of these things.
And if you give us your email address, Lewis is just going to spam you nonstop. He sends you pictures.
The ultimate spammer.
I mean, he'll send you pictures from his vacation, his favorite dinner selfies, where it's like, look at my dinner,
what?
Huh?
I don't remember what a vacation is.
Oh, right. Yeah, of course. Or what the outside of your house looks like beyond the backyard, right? So I'll put a link in the show notes if you want to enter to win this beautiful folio for your MacBook Pro.
There's 4 available.
You got 4 chances to win, or 1 chances to win one of the 4.
this is a great product. You know, if you have a MacBook and you want something to carry it in, this is a good thing. It's a good, it's a great company, and we love working with them. And I mean, I'm tempted to sign up with like fake name or something, a fake address, and just
You should do that. That'd be. My name is Fluis
Bob Johnson.
Bob Johnson. You kind of look like a Bob Johnson, honestly. If you told me your name was Bob Johnson, I would absolutely believe you. All right.
Nobody doesn't ever believe that, right? I mean,
Is that
okay.
your online alias for all the accounts that you don't want people to know about?
Bob Johnson.
You even say Bob Johnson like a real Bob Johnson. All right, let's move on and talk about something that will definitely not be announced at next week's Apple event. By the way, did we say what time it's? The keynote is at 10 a.m.
Oh, right, 10 a.m. Pacific.
Yeah, okay. The normal time on Tuesday. So we'll of course be talking about everything that is going to be announced next week, including the new iMacs that I mentioned earlier and the proof that I gave you. That's just inconclusive or conclusive evidence. Let's talk about the HomePod speaker, Apple TV, and smart camera for ultimate smart home. For the ultimate smart home. I completely butchered that, Lewis. Just take it from me.
That's kind of a long and wordy headline.
There's a lot of stuff going on in there.
Somebody should have edited that a little better. Yeah.
Can you make sure they're appropriately flogged for next time?
Apple is working on a new smart home product that would combine Apple TV, a HomePod speaker, and a camera for FaceTime or Zoom-style video conferencing, according to Bloomberg. This you cannot argue with. Bloomberg says the company, quote, has been a laggard in the smart home smart home space. But this versatile new device in early development could change that. This story also calls it Apple's most ambitious smart home hardware offering to date. Well, that's not actually saying that much, right? I mean, what else?
I don't know. There's part of this story. Just keep reading. There's a part of the story which I think aligns with that statement that you just made.
Okay. The report also notes that Apple is considering a high-end speaker with a touchscreen to compete with other models produced by Amazon and Google. This is my favorite part. A particularly intriguing tidbit notes that Apple explored connecting the iPad to the speaker with a robotic arm that can move to follow a user around a room. Whoo! Can't wait to get one of those.
That's what I was talking about. Or you wake up and your iPad's just looking at you in your face.
Yeah.
Here's your iPad.
No mention of exactly how long that robotic arm is going to be or what type of, spikes and tendrils and things will be hanging off the end of it. But, so somebody after this came up, it's like, oh, it'd be a lot like the, Echo, the 3rd gen Echo Show, which is like a little, I don't know, softball-sized speaker with a iPad mini type thing glued onto the front, and it like follows you around the room.
Yeah, now I had never heard of this.
Yeah, I've never seen one in person.
But this actually looks really. God, Amazon really has zany products, don't they? They have a camera that you can buy that you use for fashion, and it will take a picture of you, then like superimpose outfits on top of you.
All right.
They've got some weird stuff. But this thing is the all-new Echo Show 10, and for those of you listening, it's like a screen attached to an Echo speaker, but the screen has like a swivel on it, or not a swivel. There's like a circle that attaches the screen to the actual Echo, and so the screen can swivel all the way 360 degrees, all the way around the speaker.
I thought it had like a little like a lazy Susan thing on the bottom of the speaker, and the whole
the whole speaker moves
going around. Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Well, in any case, the frickin' speaker will swivel and keep the screen pointed at you no matter where you go. So it can like follow you, I think. And you can also look around your house when you're not there to watch the bad guys empty your drawers of all your family heirlooms.
Hello, stop stealing from me.
Please stop stealing from my owner. It will have a stop stealing from my owner message when the robbers come by. So I thought this was really...
As long as it has you have 15 seconds to comply.
This is a really interesting idea, and it seems kind of wacky, but the ability to look around your room, I think, would be useful when you're not there, especially if you have like pets or something. I can see myself using that, but and I should confirm that it does this because I don't know if it actually does do this, even though I said that it did. But can it follow you around as you're moving around? Can it
I
actually
think
follow
that's the whole
you?
point of it. It's like I
Okay.
think it spins to face whoever's talking or something.
Oh, interesting.
Um,
Okay, so it is supposed to do that. That's actually pretty useful,
yeah, I
I
mean, like I said,
think.
I've never actually seen one in person, but just watching the video about it, looks pretty nutty. I
Pretty
don't know.
nutty.
It just I saw it. I was like, where would I even put that? You know, where would that? Where's the ideal place for a device like that in your house?
Well,
Right in the
that
middle of the kitchen table?
actually maybe. Yeah. That way when you're eating dinner it can like swivel around and like actually honestly, how many times have you been having a discussion with someone on FaceTime and you are trying to do something while you're having the conversation, so you have to like put the phone down or then pick it up, put it over there and kind of carry it around with you? It would actually be really useful to have a device like this for FaceTime calls that just kind of follows you around and maybe could zoom in and out on you. That would actually be kind of useful, I think.
Yeah, yeah, it could be. We'll
I'm
see.
becoming a fan in real time here. The only thing is, like, I would want it to integrate with FaceTime, so I would like it if Apple came out with something like this. But just reading from the article again, that Apple's considering a high-end speaker with a touchscreen to compete with other models produced by Amazon and Google, and then the iPad connected to a robotic arm. I'm like, dude, yeah, that's what you need to do. The regular HomePod didn't succeed. You need to make something even weirder for people
Yeah,
to really attach to, right? Which is an iPad attached to a robotic arm.
that was my very first thing. It's like you just killed iPad or a HomePod, and now 2 weeks later we're hearing that you're continuing work on these other crazier things. I mean, I don't know. What are the chances that they come out with a full size HomePod next week that just has the U1 chip in there? Just like, oh yeah, we had to blow out the ones that didn't have the U1.
At this point, I hope that's what they're going to do. I really do. But at this point, I don't think that is what's going to happen. Like the way the HomePod was removed and the statement from Apple about how they're going to be
Yeah.
focusing on the HomePod mini, it seems like they're just done with it, which I think is very weird. Super
Yeah.
bizarre that they're going to leave the HomePod mini in place. I won't go into the whole spiel again. You guys are probably sick of hearing it, but I really love the HomePod, and I was sad to see that happen. And hopefully, it does come back in some kind of form factor other than and not just remain discontinued forever. But so there you go. If you want something even stranger than the HomePod, Apple is apparently working on something. We don't know if this is actually going to be released. This is probably just something that they're testing to see if it will become an actual product. But a iPad on a robotic arm following you around your room. You know what? Honestly, if you think about that for FaceTime, that actually might be really useful. Or you could train it to like go wake up your kid. So like it's like coming through, pardon me, and then it like hits your kid in the face with the iPad to wake him up. not it might be something that El Kenny could use on his kids. All right, last story. I thought this was pretty interesting. Apple really is serious about streaming. And I know that their streaming service right now is none too impressive, especially with everything happening with the Rona and every streaming service is coming out with all this new content now, and Apple's just way behind. And now you have Warner Brothers putting all their movies on HBO Max the same day that they come out in the movie theaters, which is crazy. But Apple is throwing money into this successful business endeavor or this fire. I leave it to you to decide which one. But there was a story that came out this week that I thought was kind of interesting, and that is this. Apple TV will get at least 10 to 12 original movies per year. Apple TV is looking to ramp up its investment in original movies and has hired a former Warner Media executive to help it, claims the information. I bet you anything this story was written by the hairless Alex Heath. Let's see here. The report cites two people familiar with the situation as saying that Apple wants to beef up its original film production to better compete with the streaming stakes. The information writes that while Apple has dabbled in films for its streaming service, such as the documentary The Beastie Boys Story, it hasn't made a big push into feature films. Over the past several months, it has told studio executives that it is looking to do more than 10 to 12 movies a year for the service and would like to hire someone to help oversee the push. That's a lot. We're not talking about episodic content. I mean, 10 to 12 movies a year. That's one at least every month, right?
Wow, did you do that math in your head?
On the fly.
I mean, to be honest, I don't find this to be that surprising because it seems like every day there's a new story about, oh, Apple signed for this, Apple signed for that. I mean, yeah, a lot of them are TV shows and some of them are documentaries, but there's a lot of original movies already on the docket, and so I found this to be just kind of like, yeah, oh, really? Okay, yeah. It's sort of like the kind of thing I would read in like USA Today, like people who aren't paying attention, like, oh, look, 10 to 12 a week or a month, or a year.
I guess
I can't even talk now. I've clearly hit the hit the wall. But yeah, I mean, the amount of stuff that they have in the pipeline is actually pretty shocking and impressive.
Yeah, that's exactly how I feel. I guess I kind of expected them to come out strong and then have a really long period where they slowly built up their library, but they are just hammering at this content as hard as they can and throwing so much money into it. Let me read this quote from the information. Apple has dabbled in its... Oh, did I already say this?
I think you did,
Oh,
yeah.
I literally just read that. Let me read this part. Of course, the Rona has drastically changed the landscape of content movies with the likes of Disney opting to debut theatrical movies on Disney+, although they are making you buy access to the movie for $30, which, in my opinion, is kind of crazy. Especially because Warner Brothers announced they announced that its entire 2021 slate of movies, including The Matrix 4. Oh, yes, that's coming out. We'll talk about that in just a sec. And then the Dune remake, the Sopranos prequel, and more are going to come to HBO Max at the same time as they are coming to theaters. Now, the thing about this story that was exciting that I didn't realize is that, can I find this story? That Apple is making, or not Apple, that The Matrix is coming out with a whole new movie. And I was like, surely they're not going to be bringing back Keanu Reeves. Oh, they are. Keanu Reeves is coming back in The Matrix 4. The Matrix wasn't meant to come out until 2022, but in a surprising move, it has been brought forward to December 21st, 2021. So there is a new Matrix with Keanu Reeves coming to theaters and to HBO Max in December this year. The Matrix 4 was officially announced in 2019 with the Wachowskis writing and directing the new movie. Reeves and Carrie-Anne Moss are back, but Lawrence Fishburne, alas, and Hugo Weaving probably won't be coming back. So here's everything that you need to know. Well, we don't need to read all this.
You didn't know that was happening? They were filming that in San Francisco right as the coronavirus was starting to shut stuff down. I remember walking through Chinatown and we saw, giant filming rigs and stuff. They were, and there were pictures in the Chronicle of like, Keanu Reeves flying through the air on a cable.
You saw Keanu Reeves?
Well, that was a photo in the paper.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I was trying to read this and
No,
listen to you at the same time.
by,
I was like, dude, that would be so cool
No.
if you look up and you see Keanu Reeves flying through the air on a cable going, whoa.
Oh, but they were downtown San Francisco for weeks filming that stuff, and it's just amazing if you ever walk around, get close to a set like that. It's like, God, all the work that goes into one of those things is just kind of astonishing.
Wait a second. Neil Patrick Harris has also signed on to the cast. Neil Patrick Harris is going to be...
And now that I didn't know.
Neil Patrick Harris, who of course will be reprising his role from Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle, will also be in the Matrix movie. Mindhunter and Frozen star Jonathan Groff has joined the cast. Alongside... Oh, we've come full circle. I cannot make this up. Oh, wait. Alongside National Treasure Stephen Graham. Now, are they talking about the movie National Treasure, or are they just saying that Stephen Graham is a National Treasure?
Nick Cage was in it.
Dude, if Nick Cage is in The Matrix 4, this is going to instantly become one of my favorite movies of all time. Did you like the Matrix movies?
I like them fine. I mean, got a little bit confused toward the end.
Yeah.
First one was great.
Didn't we all? Dude, the first one was great. I loved all the Matrix movies. They got a little strange towards the end, for sure. But they didn't get bad. They just kind of got a little convoluted, and then you needed the architect to be like, ergo, vis-a-vis, and explain to you what was going on. And I kind of like the way that it tied up.
I can't even remember now what exactly happened in which one. Mostly, I know I've seen the first one several times, and definitely one of the movies I like the most. But
Well, one last interesting fact before we wrap up here. So, if you want to be nominated for an Oscar, or if you want the potential to be nominated for an Oscar, you have to release your movie in the theaters. So, these production companies are kind of in a strange spot where I think they probably want to release their content on streaming services just so they can get the content out the door. But if they want to actually win an Oscar or have the potential to win an Oscar, that seems like an antiquated rule, doesn't it? Then you have to actually release your movie in the movie theater.
yeah, well, you gotta have rules, you gotta have standards.
Yeah, but Netflix will release full-on, AAA movies just on Netflix, and they won't even come to theaters.
Or they'll have them show in a theater for a week in 2 markets so that they qualify.
You're kidding? Do they do that? Of course they do that. I've never heard of that, but that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, and then just show it for like a whole week.
Well, and traditional studios did the same thing. Like they would release a movie in 2 markets, in December, so that they would make it into that year's Oscar scrum. And then like the following spring they would be in more theaters. The whole like timing of movies is the spreadsheets that are involved. I just can't even imagine.
The spreadsheets. I'm trying to scour this Matrix 4 article to see if it tells us what the premise of the actual Matrix can be. Because, if you watch the Matrix, it's kind of over, right? So I wonder what they're going to do. Maybe it's going to be a Matrix, like a pre-story or a prequel, if you will, where they talk about what happened before the whole Matrix movie series or the trilogy that we saw before. But I'm not spry enough to look through this whole thing and actually come up with the plot as I talk to Lewis and do about 15 other things to keep this stream going. So I think we should just go ahead and crank up the bar, turn on the music, and wrap it up there, Lewis, because you're like the Kool-Aid man. You broke through the wall, I think, about a half hour ago, and now you're just you're puttering on nothing but sugar water. So let's go ahead and wrap it up there. That's all the CultCast we have for you guys this week. If you want to come say hi, we're both on Twitter. I'm at Erfon, ERFON. Lewis is at Lewis Wallace. Leander is at El Caney. Hopefully he'll be around next week.
Send him a get well.
yeah. Please do. Send your thoughts and your prayers and a nice note on Twitter. Make him feel good. Let's see here. I completely forgot where we were, so I'm just gonna do this.
Wow.
You threw me off with the whole reach out to El Caney thing. So let's just do this. This has been the CultCast, the best 30-plus minute app conversation you're going to hear all week long. New episodes of the CultCast come out every Thursday night. I want to thank everyone for listening and for hanging out live. And we will see you guys next time. How you like that recovery, Lewis?
I was just going to say, literally, nice recovery.
Dude, as soon as I just get the first word, my brain goes, boom, I'm on it. All right, guys, thanks for hanging out live. And we will see you guys next time. All right, bye. I really want to believe that El Caney is going to be back next week, but I think he might be a goner. Who should we have replace him? Do you have any other British guys at Cultimac we can have come on?
We're lousy with British guys, actually.
You really need to beef up your staffing of British guys, because I have a feeling we're going to need at least 1 to 2 replacements. Just something to think about. How about Luke?
Not exactly 2.
He's British, isn't he? Maybe Ed?
Luke, Killian.
Someone who's younger.
They both got the accents.
That's all we need.